All right, everybody, we'll go ahead and get started with today's webinar. Today's webinar is all about LinkedIn 101. My name is Cindy Strobridge, and I'll be your moderator for today. This webinar is also a part of our Together We Roar Grad Week Series 2020, and we're happy to put these events on for our graduates to make sure they can go out and be successful and change the world. So with that, I will go through a couple housekeeping items and we will introduce you to our wonderful speaker, and we'll get started. So at this time, all of our participants are in listen-only mode. This webinar is expected to last approximately 45 minutes, and we'll address questions at the end. If you do have a question, you can submit that through your chat box feature in our chat box below. At this time, this presentation is also being recorded. You'll be able to view this recording later on our YouTube channel, and a link to the recording will be sent out to the participants. Now, let me introduce our wonderful speaker and my Mercer CCPD colleague, Ann Kelly.
Well, hello, everyone. So I am Ann Kelly, and I'm the Director of Graduate Career Management Services at the Stetson Hatcher School of Business. And I'm very delighted to be here with all of you today. I know some of you, as I see your names popping up on the list, some of you are in our programs at Stetson Hatcher. So some of this may be a bit of a refresher. For some of you, this may be, I was hoping I didn't have to have a LinkedIn profile, but now I'm seeing I have to. So I know I have a mix of people, from people who are well-versed to people who are just starting out. So for everyone, a refresher is always good on LinkedIn. I think we'll have things that will get everyone started in the beginning and things that will help people who feel more experienced. So what we're going to learn today, what exactly is LinkedIn? Why a profile matters, important parts of your profile, what recruiters review, networking 101, and don't be scared by that word. Trust me, I'm going to make this easy for you. And the magic 500. This will be probably the best takeaway you get from the LinkedIn presentation today. And then we'll do the review and the Q&A as Cindy discussed. So what exactly is LinkedIn? It is a paper brochure of your resume. So I want you to keep it in that kind of perspective. And the reason that I start out by putting it in that type of terms for you in a real old school term is because people often say to me, oh goodness, I have so many things that I'm participating in for social media. I don't want one more. And I want social media to be fun. And I want this to be, I can be me. Well, that's not LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is professional. This is your professional presence. And here's the good thing about that. The good thing about this is that what LinkedIn is it's your space in this wonderful World Wide Web for you to be able to professionally represent yourself, to show the positive work you can do, your productivity, your contributions. It shows who you're going to build your connections with. It might start out that you don't have a lot of connections, and that's okay. It's all going to be progressive. Someday you're going to turn around, maybe 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and you're going to be shocked that all of a sudden you have this amazing, robust professional presence. So the good thing about that is you're in 100% control of it. Your employer doesn't control it, you control it. And there's only so much space on a resume. So when you think, oh, if I could just tell people this about me, if they would just ask me, why should we pick you for this job? This is what LinkedIn lets you do. So that's one of the good things about it. The next part, it is not for daily updates, witty rapport, selfies, or negativity. So this is an important thing to think about with people who post too often on LinkedIn. It's a little weird. So you don't want to be that person. So for those of you who are not that enthusiastic about social media, this is a great place for you. And it's a great place because we only want to be commenting and participating with it when we have something substantial to say. The witty rapport, the reason I say it that way is we all think we're funny. I think I'm funny, but I'm not funny to everybody. So we know that sarcasm does not always translate. We know that humor doesn't always translate. So there's not an expectation of that when you're in LinkedIn. So don't feel like that's the mode you have to be in. You're not trying to be the most clever. Selfies, this is just not, again, not a place to be frequently posting all kinds of things. It's not about where you went to lunch. It's not about the best burrito you ever ate. And we're over the noon hour, so I'm probably gonna have a lot of food references for you right now. And it's definitely not a place for negativity. We should always think twice before we post anything that is not painting something in a positive light, but it definitely isn't a place where you wanna write an essay and post it or comment on a post in a way that comes back as negative. So an example of that is, there was a post or an article written about a year ago. They come up all the time about my manager is the worst. Here's the 10 things I hate that managers do. Think twice before you react to that, before you respond to that. Wouldn't it be better to respond to something that has somebody in a positive light? Here's something positive going in with this company and something that they're doing in outreach, or here's somebody who just got a promotion. Those are the things, and that's the idea. It's your professional presence. So think about it like sitting in a meeting with the boss and other people. What would you say? What wouldn't you say? And remember that it's out there for all time. So the next part is, it's a great database for organizing connections. When students often start out with putting together a professional network, they say, I'm good. I've got them all saved here in my email, and I'll remember that I reached out to this person or that person. I want that to be true for you. I want that so much with all of my heart to be true for you, because then it would also be true for me. But you will forget to communicate with people. You will forget who you know. You will forget who offered help to you. So LinkedIn keeps track of all this for you, and it doesn't change, and you don't lose the data just because you've switched email addresses or platforms, or you more frequent one platform or another. It keeps things contained for you, and it's free. I'm going to show you all the free parts to LinkedIn. It can also highlight and showcase your leadership in a chosen field. So you can actually look great as somebody who's brand new to a new profession. It can also highlight you if you've been in your profession for a long time. And we'll get to that when we get deeper into LinkedIn discussions. Now, why does a profile matter? And I understand this. I remember when I was invited to open a LinkedIn profile, I was invited by someone I actually know from one side of my professionalism, which is over in the world of improvisation. It was a big thing back then, a couple decades ago. And I got this connection. Will you connect with me on LinkedIn? And I actually picked up my landline phone. This is how far back LinkedIn goes. I picked up a landline phone and I said, oh goodness. I said, are you making me join another thing? I said, I just joined the Facebook. I don't really want to have to monitor now multiple things. And she said, no, this is different. She said, this is the one you would definitely want to be on, because this is where business is going to happen. This is how we're all going to get jobs. So I am actually somebody who's one of the first 5,000 people to join LinkedIn. So I've been a part of this for many, many years. So why does the profile matter? It's comfort. People hire people they think they know. I'm going to say that slowly again. People hire people they think they know. Having a profile is giving comfort to potential employers. It gives comfort to people who you want to network with and follow up with. The fact that you take the time to put that together shows that you are taking the time to represent yourself. It shows that you have confidence in yourself. Now, for anybody going, okay, but I'm not 100% confident. Usually no one is 100% confident, so that's okay. The profile makes us look like we're 100% confident. It's an expectation these days. It's expected that you have a phone number for employers to reach you. It's expected that you have an email address, and you all know that your email address can't be, as my dear friend used to have. She used to have a burrito Brittany, like 563 at gmail.com. And I said, you can't look for jobs with your middle school email address of burrito Brittany. So you need a phone number, you need an email address, and you need a LinkedIn account. Project completion. The fact that you put the LinkedIn profile together and it's halfway decent is an example of you being able to complete a project. So it's a quick way for employers to see, oh, look, they did take some time with this. They are making an effort. I can subconsciously translate that they may take time and make an effort with the work I have for them. Control. This is probably my favorite part. You are in control of your narrative. You get to decide what you represent, who you are, what your brand is, what matters to you, what you think you're good at. And then it gives you the opportunity for others to endorse that with you. But I like that mindset that you have control. I think that's a good part of it. Absence of a LinkedIn profile signals you aren't really engaged in the professional workforce. It raises questions of your legitimacy to employers and industry peers. So at this point, it's just something you just need to do. And it does not have to take you very long. One of the pieces of advice I will give you all the time is anytime you're working on career pieces, set a timer for 30 minutes and just focus on what you're doing. And then when that buzzer dings, when your phone plays my marimba music, when my marimba music plays, that means it's time to stand up, walk away. And you walk away. You hit save before you walk away if you need to hit save, but walk away from what you're doing and then come back another day and keep working on it. So that way you don't get lost in it and spend hours and get fatigued. Typically when you work that way in little half-hour segments, when you come back to the work another day, it's far better than you thought it was. So it can help you in the long run. Now, let's get down to what are the important parts of your profile. What I'm going to do is go through my slides and talk to you a little on the abstract of LinkedIn, and then we're going to hop on to actual LinkedIn page, and I'm going to cruise you around all these things. So I may go a little quickly through some of these. Your headline. So you have an opportunity to put under your name, what's the main thing besides your name you want people to know. That headline is your opportunity to say, seeking employment in, and you should put that if you're job searching. Another question I get, so not everybody is in a position where they are looking for a professional job and you are not fully employed already. So I'm going to give advice about what to do if you're free and clear and you can put whatever you want there. But if you are still working for an employer and job hunting at the same time, because you want to apply your brand new degree to a new field and you've had all exhaustive discussions with your current employer and there's absolutely no way for them to do anything with you with your new degree and you can't stay with them. All right, that's my setup. What you would do is you would, instead of putting actively seeking, you would put experienced social media manager. You would put something under that title that has really what it is that you're looking to do. Or if I am working in advertising and I want to work in higher ed, which is part of my journey through my career, I could put experienced advertising executive who educates and trains clients. And now all of a sudden I've gotten some keywords in there that could get people's attention. So keywords are going to be an ongoing theme in our presentation today. The about section of LinkedIn, there's a section that's about, that's your brand statement. That is where you can already answer the question as though you were in an interview and they say, oh, well, Ann Kelly, thank you so much for coming in to interview today with us. Now, tell us a little bit about who you are. Well, I'd be all ready to go with my brand statement, and you get to decide what that looks like. The featured section. This is something that can be great, especially if you're an undergrad and you haven't had an opportunity to have a professional work experience yet. You could show some work. If you have no experience in the field that you've studied, I'm sorry, that's written very awkwardly. So let's say that you have been studying marketing, but you've never been employed as a marketer. If you did a great project, you can write something up and you can post it as a PDF in the featured section. And so somebody could see, oh, I could hire that person to manage my social media profile for one of my clients. A skills section. It gives you thousands of words in LinkedIn. Pick 3 or 5. Pick 3 or 5 skills. The reason you do this is you can also base it off of job descriptions that you're looking at and what are keywords that keep coming up. What do employers need you to be able to do? If you pick those as your skills, then they're going to be more present on your profile. And when we talk about what recruiters look for, it's going to help them find you. Endorsing others to build your score. So the neat thing about this skills section is if you put your skills out there, LinkedIn will, when you log in, it will say, hey, do you want to endorse this person for this skill? And if you do endorse somebody, then it will send that person something that says, hey, Ann just endorsed you for leadership. Would you like to endorse her for this skill? Would you like to look at her other skills and endorse those? So it's a way to build each other up. Recommendation section. So I always, students will say, could you write me your letter of recommendation? And I often say, I will not write you a letter of recommendation. Why don't I write something in your LinkedIn profile? And if they say, well, it's for a scholarship and it has to be written on paper, I say, okay, then I'll write it for you on paper. But these days, you rarely have an opportunity to give a piece of paper to a potential employer. But what you do have is the opportunity to have somebody write you a recommendation on your LinkedIn profile. And it will stay with you. It'll stay with you on that profile. So that's something that is wonderful and just great to have in your profile, because it goes back to our very first thing, that it provides comfort to other people. If they think they know you. So when they read some recommendations, they see, okay, other persons say that she might be okay at this. So I think we can trust to bring her in for a phone screen. And that's what we're looking for, right? Following. So there are all kinds of things you can follow. You can follow sometimes people. Often if you're following a person, you're following somebody who owns a company, or this is really a professional page. It's like a business page for them. But you can also follow companies. You can also follow professional groups. So I'm a member of the Georgia Career Development Association, the National Career Development Association. I can follow those groups on LinkedIn, which means sometimes people will post to the specialized group, hey, we have a job opening over here. Or they'll say, hey, here's an awesome presentation I just saw on resume writing for keyword search. And you're able to collaborate in that space or stay very silent. The other important part of following is follow any company where you apply. So if you apply to a company, do follow it on LinkedIn. And all you do is you just search for that company, and I'll show you how to do it. And they'll pop up, their page will pop up, and you just hit the follow button. They make it easy. What that does is it just shows your initial interest in things. All right, what do recruiters review? First of all, be calm, right? Keep calm and carry on. You don't need to write your LinkedIn profile or review it or modify it in a panic. So keep calm. People are out there searching, but you aren't going to get a job because someone else calls you and invites you to interview. You are going to have to be active. So you want to think about this from, what are recruiters reviewing? Recruiters, employers, your parent's friend who owns a small business who isn't really even in HR because the company's not that big, but they hopped on LinkedIn, right? That's what the word recruiter can mean. It's all kinds of people. The biggest thing they're looking for is consistency. So does your job title match on your resume and on your LinkedIn profile? Do you have the same things listed on your resume that you have on your LinkedIn profile? Now, this doesn't mean that they have to be identical in terms of what you're limited to on your resume. You're continuing to be limited in your LinkedIn profile. But what it does mean is don't skip a place of employment. I had a recruiter a couple years ago who said, wow, he said, I want to commend you because your LinkedIn profile actually matches your resume. And I said, tell me more about that, because I work with people. What is it that makes you say that? And he said, you wouldn't believe the number of people I weed out of searches and don't move forward to the next step because they have something listed on LinkedIn that they don't have listed on their resume, and vice versa. So we can, as career counselors here at Mercer University, we can help you with how to fill in employment gaps, how to write something that you have. Please set up an appointment with us. Join us for the month of April on any hours. We have virtual coaching hours on Mondays from 9 to 5. Join us and we're happy to help you with that. But you want to keep some consistency. Keyword matches. So if you really want a new career in a new field that you've studied, you're going to need to take those vocabulary words and weave them into the work that you've been doing. We can help you with this. So set up an appointment and we'll help you. You need an indication that you're looking. There needs to be something that indicates that you're looking. It does help. So if you're not employed, you can absolutely use the headline under your name and put actively seeking or seeking. Put that word in there. There's also a really great feature in LinkedIn where you can go behind the scenes inside your profile and you can click a button to yes, let employers know that I am actively seeking. And anybody who works at your current employer will not be alerted that that button is on and that you are doing that. So that is something to think about. Referrals. Recruiters are going to look real quickly at those reviews you have and those recommendations. And tone and fit. So the tone of your LinkedIn profile. Are you expressing a bit of personality, professional personality? So again, this isn't the time that you want to use vocabulary that you would use on something that is truly in your personal life, that is with your dearest, closest friends. But are you super, super serious and you're not a super serious person all the time? Do you feel like you've used language that fits you? When I say fit, I don't want to go down the road of cultural fit to an organization, but I will say I did have a student who was not having good luck at getting jobs. And I said, well, let's review everything again. And then upon a second review of the LinkedIn profile, they said, well, you said that I should use language that represents me in tone and fit. And they had added a curse word in their LinkedIn profile. And they thought it was a lesser curse word. And I said, you haven't met my mom, to which there would be no such thing as a lesser curse word. So why don't we go back and change that? Because I understand you're trying to express who you are, but I know you can do that without putting something so controversial out there and that can offend people. So we can't ever cover all of those bases, but certainly you can phrase things in a way that you feel like it's your voice saying it, that it's what you would say at an interview and how you would say it. So feel free to connect with us again, because we can help you individually with your profiles to get that tone and fit on your profile. All right, do not panic. You're going to see that come up a couple times. Do not panic. And what I mean by panic is often panic is just you get stuck. You get stuck, you get exhausted, you get bored, and you say, I'm not doing this, I quit. I'm not putting it together. When any one of those things comes up, you're panicked, you're stressed, you're bored, I don't want to do this, or you quit, that's the time to connect with us, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help say, no, you did 90% of this. This is amazing. Let me help you with the next 10%. And we love to do it. It's why we all have our jobs. We love it. All right, and bear advice. Make things easy for the recruiter. The more you match a specific job, the easier it is for them to help you obtain an interview. I know that sounds so basic. And I know if somebody were saying that to me, I'd roll my eyes a little bit and I would say, of course. But really looking at your profile, if the job you are looking to apply for, if there are 5 main things that job talks about, do you have those exact 5 things in your profile? I know that sounds simple, but are you using words that are similar but not quite there? Another thing that I experienced in my own job searching was I was not getting called for interviews in a different area than higher education career services. But I was watching my peers get called for those interviews. And I thought, okay, I know there's nothing that's blatant on my resume that would exclude me from applying for these jobs. What is it? And one of the things that I got told was, well, we were looking for managerial experience. And I said, I have managerial experience. I have it in 3 different jobs that I've had. And I said, so I don't understand. And she said, where? And we went through my resume and she said, well, I see supervised, but I don't see the word managed. And you can imagine, I wanted to absolutely scream. And I wanted to go, are you kidding me? It's the same word. But to this person, it wasn't. And it wasn't. Supervised was much more of a term that was used in one area that I worked in versus this other area that I wanted to work in. So if the job description calls for management experience 2 years plus, if I write supervised 2 years plus, it's not the same thing. So that's what I mean by help the recruiter, help the employer see the words that they are looking for. They've probably already put them in their job description for you. All right, Networking 101 and the Magic 500. This is a two-step process, and I'm going to demonstrate it for you in just a second in LinkedIn. But I love this part. So I know most of you are saying, I don't want to do this. I don't want to network. I hear you. I get it. Anybody that says they love it, you know what? We're just going to call them weird. We just are. Networking, it sounds like I have to call people I've never talked to before. It's going to be a bad call. They're barely going to talk. I'm going to be trying so hard to pull information from them. But that really isn't what we're going to ask of you for networking. The best part about being a Mercer Bear, in my opinion, is that you are a Mercer Bear, just like so many other people. And I'm going to show you how many Mercer Bears are on LinkedIn. That is like the secret handshake. The bear roar is the roar. It's your way in. It means that Mercer Bears want to talk to you. They want to connect with you. So it's not weird at all. So here's what I did for you here. So there I am in step one, right? This is a two-step process. I find this amazing person on LinkedIn. I'm going to show you how to find people in LinkedIn. I find her, and her name is Cindy. She's over there in step two. That's her picture. Well, the first thing I'm going to do in step one is I'm going to send a connection message. So this is a message. You can come back to this presentation. You can take a screenshot. This is a message that works really well when you're trying to send out a connection message. And I'm going to show you in just a second where to send that connection message. This is what I write. Hello, Cindy. I'm an MBA candidate at Mercer University with a concentration in marketing. I'd like to connect with you, a fellow alumni in special events. I look forward to connecting. Anne. That's it. Now, I wait, I send the connection, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait. And the thing is most people aren't spending every day on LinkedIn. But lo and behold, 3 weeks later, Cindy responds and just accepts. I get a Cindy accepted your connection request. This is amazing. This is a miracle. Here's the thing though that I have to remember. That doesn't mean that I sit passively and quietly and wait for Cindy. About this is remember it's 3 requests over 3 months and then move on to 3 other people. So the one more important thing to remember is don't keep sending things to people over and over and over again. 4 to 5 messages is just not okay. All right. There's plenty of people to connect with, and I will show you that. All right. Here's something else to know about the LinkedIn algorithm. And this is our LinkedIn 500. Okay. So the LinkedIn 500 means that once you connect to 500 people, more and more of LinkedIn is opened up to you. All right. I'm going to switch over to, I'm going to stop that share. Hello, everybody. And I'm going to share my LinkedIn so we can start living some of these things that we are talking about. All right. So here on my LinkedIn page, all right. Oops, it took my picture away. Let's see what's happening. I think we're really having some internet connections right now. Okay, I'll load again. All right, so when my LinkedIn page comes up, this is the page that I land on each day. And what I want to show you in here, I'm going to look at the feed for just a second because I know all your eyes are going. Creative Circle is something that I follow because I follow it actually for all of you because they do a lot of recruiting and hiring. And then I come down here and I see there's Terry College. Here is People HQ podcast, and there's people responding to it. Here is somebody that I'm second to who's posting about something that's topical. And then we get all kinds of things up here. All kinds of things come through. Now look at this. Look at this. StubHub Training Center. This is interesting. Somebody I'm close to. Seems a little personal of a post, but not really because it's about business. Here's Delta Airlines coming up. Have a number of different people with Delta, right? So I'm seeing all kinds of things come through that can do all kinds of things like help me build lists of employers. So I can start looking at some of these things. Look at this, Kids Bop, president of Kids Bop. Some of you are probably wishing she hadn't created that company because you have to listen to those songs all the time. But look at this in the middle of it. Oh, they think I could be a learning experience manager in pharmaceutical sales based on my profile. That I could be a director of business development at Monstro. Now, this may or may not be true, correct? But kind of nice that somebody's doing some work for me there. And we keep going through that. All right. And there's somebody who used to work at Mercer. Phew. All right. So what I want to show you though is one of your best opportunities as a Mercer Bear is come up here and type in Mercer University. And you are looking this orange square with the white Mercer logo. This is the page that you really want to spend some time on. And the reason you want to spend time on it is because this is how you are going to reach 34,638 alumni. Can you believe this? Look at this. Here's where they are, scattered across the US and around the globe. Here are places where they work. And if you're saying, oh, but those aren't any of the places where I want to work, that's okay. You want to know why? Because there's 34,638 alums on LinkedIn. Once you open your profile and you pick the schools where you go to school, you will also appear on this list. So here's something that's kind of fun. Let's say you want to go work for LinkedIn. Do we have any alums at LinkedIn? Let's see. Oh, somebody works at Slack. Do people know what that is? That's like Teams. That's in a lot of different offices. All right, let's go down here. What do we have? Look at these different people who all have something that they have done at all of these places. Let's see who Haley West is. So I click on her name. She's a privacy director at Truist, technology business analyst, real estate. Oh, she was even an attorney. Wow, and here she is. She was all the way back in undergrad at Mercer University School of Engineering. So look at all these possible things, all these different areas that we could connect with her and the different things she has. So now if I'm interested in connecting with her, I would come to Connect. In Connect, this is where I would write my, hello, Haley. And I'm going to pretend that I'm a student, right? And I would say, instead of a career service personnel. So if I were you, I would write, hello, Haley. I am a fellow Mercer Bear studying business, concentrating in finance. I'd love to speak to you about your career in finance. And there we go. And then I would hit send invitation. Once I do that, it goes into an abyss, right? You think, what's going on? Well, Haley, just like me, has on this My Network tab at the top, this is where all the people who have reached out and who are asking me to connect with them, here's where they are, right? Now, as you can see, I only see little bits of what people wrote, right? So I only see little bits of things here, which is why once I learned that somebody has accepted a connection, I would come up here to messaging. So here's messaging, here's people who are part of this. I would come in here and I would write a new message and I would send the same thing right back to her that I wrote, hit send, and then it stays in here forever and always until I actually archive it. And it lets me see my entire conversation with someone. So that part is really helpful because somebody will send me a new message and I'll see, oh my goodness, we have been trying to connect for over 2 years and we always connect with each other every April and October. What is going on? I have one person that I did that with. She does recruiting for CNN and we have tried to get together for so long and something has always come up. And so we were able to look at that. I said, hey, I said, did you notice that we've been trying for 2 years to connect and we're always trying with April and October? What if we set a time and we try to connect in December? And we finally made it work because we picked a completely different time than what we had done. And it was something that we could actually bond over, we could connect on it. It worked really well. So parts of LinkedIn profiles. If you come to your profile, when you're in here, you're going to see all these little pencils. This is where you can do your edits to what you have. So this is what I have under my headline or under my name. If I click to the edit, that's the headline. And then it asks, what's my current position? So I can actually pick where am I doing the most work if you have multiple jobs, or if there's a job that you want to be the job that's listed because you think it's more applicable to what you're applying for. This is what's great. You can decide if you want education to show. Do that. Be Mercer proud. Show your Mercer Bears. It's a great idea. And then that's what my options are in that section. My About section. This is great. Write until you can't write anymore because it's only going to show this much. But you can put as many things in here as you want to make this personal to you. This is your section for you to discuss your brand. This is the featured section. Showcase your work. Best posts, documents, media, websites. One student that I'm connected to or alum from a former institution is a professional artist. He right now has some paintings that are part of a special auction to help frontline workers, and it's with Christie's, with the big auction house. So he's got those listed here, so you can go through there. It's really exciting to get to see those. Then you get things like this. I've had 119 people review my profile, 1,000 post views, so 116 times I've appeared in searches. So that means as people have been either looking for me or they have been looking for other people who do what I do, I'm coming up in those. Look at this one. Now the salary insights you have to pay for, but if you talk to us, we can probably help you with that. So come talk to us. So activity, things recently that I have commented on that people have posted. And then here's where we get into the jobs that we have. So just make sure that these things follow what your resume follows. All right, there are my colleges, woohoo, go Midwest, and then license and certifications. Don't worry that you don't have certain sections. If you're new to your career or you're new to an industry, you don't have a certification yet for it. Keep ones that are for former industries that you were part of. If you've done something like that, even if this isn't applicable to what your current work is, what's great is it signals to your employer that, okay, this person does know and has been a part of professional organizations and done these things. Volunteer experience, always good. Put it out there. And here's the best part. It doesn't show what year you did them. So if you did Meals on Wheels all through high school, but you haven't done it since, get it up there because you've still done it. So this is another nice feature of LinkedIn is it doesn't say, that was then, this is now. You can keep things in there because it is a part of who you are. It shapes who you are. And it's important to have. So then we've got skills and endorsement sections. And this is where I recommended, add 3 to 5. You can take a skill quiz. You can also, I would say, look at the job descriptions of where you're applying. And then I've got 7 recommendations and I've given 9. So that wouldn't be uncommon. If you expect that if you ask for a recommendation that you might be asked to give one too. But go ahead and send those out to certain people to build up your profiles. Accomplishments, I think those are other things that I've put in that category. And then some of my interests are here for people to take a look at with what I've been doing. All right, so with that, the last thing I just want to show you, I can't say enough about LinkedIn jobs. And here is one of the reasons why I think this is so good for you. Jobs that appear on LinkedIn, the employers have had to pay to get listed. So they're going to be more legitimate. You're going to have less of sort of a bait and switch type of situation with these jobs, meaning that if you see a job for Verizon and it's a customer service manager, it's not going to be a job where you're standing in Walmart representing Verizon phones. It would actually be a headquarters job where you are actually analyzing the customer experience and working on that. So don't underestimate the jobs part. Now, something that students often ask is, should I pay for premium? Do not pay for premium. Do not pay for premium. Once you connect, once your network has over 500 people in it, there's almost nothing that you can't see. And I think I have a count somewhere here. Yeah, I've got 3,700 connections on LinkedIn. This is not because I accept every connection that comes in. It's not it at all. I've built that up over time. I'm old. Remember, I'm one of the people, one of the first in the thousands groups that were part of LinkedIn. You will gather people and connect them. If you aren't having a lot of success finding people on LinkedIn, we in career service can help you. So the CCPD is here to help you connect. So sometimes what I do is have appointments with students where we hop online and they'll say, there's somewhere that I want to work. And I'll say, wonderful, tell me all about it. And they'll say, well, it's this really neat company. It's here in Atlanta. It has stuff to do with your home. And I'll say, okay, Home Depot, what are you getting? And I'll say, 302 alumni came up for me who work at Home Depot. And they'll say, oh, I'm only getting 6. I'll say, no problem. And then what I'm able to do is I'll say, okay, Bailey Brady came up first. Do you want to write that name down? And they'll write it down. And then I'll say, okay, Altamish Badani came up. Do you want me to write that one down for you? And they'll say yes. So we can help. All of us can help with providing you more of those types of connections that are out there. All right. One last tip. So you know how we came here to these connections. Let me see. Bailey is second. She's not a first connection for me. Oh, actually, I can show you under my network. I want to show you, you always want to be able to connect to people. I'm sorry, I'm actually going to go back to that page. That was where I wanted to be. You always want to go ahead and you want to come to their page here with connect and write the note. All right. Now, there may be a day that you do exactly this and it says you need to provide this person's email address. That's probably because you don't have enough connections, or it's because you've sent too many of these messages to people on any one given day. So LinkedIn constantly changes their algorithm, and they change that so that you are protected, that you don't get as much spam as you would get other places. So don't ever think it's you. Know that that's out there as a way to try to help to protect you having a great experience with LinkedIn. All right, well, I could go on and on and on, as you can see, and have plenty to share with you and would love to, but I would love to take any questions, if there are any questions out there.
Awesome. Thanks, Anne. I just typed in our chat box. So please, if you do have a question, go ahead and type it in here. I can go ahead and get us started. It goes back to, of course, your profile. And can you maybe give us some tips on the best headshot for your LinkedIn profile? What should and should not be in your picture?
That's wonderful. So I would not have this in your picture, in your profile picture. Okay. Maybe if you did that art yourself, maybe. And if you are out there because your profile is as an artist. Really, what I would encourage you to do, pick a very neutral background behind you. It's okay if it's all greenery. If you take a picture outside, you do want to make sure that from, the shoulders up, it looks like you got dressed to go to work, right? Angles are always good. Be sure you're looking at the camera. I wouldn't recommend that you pick a photo where you've cut somebody out of this side of it or this side of it. I would make sure that it's just something that it looks like, this is the person that not only are they going to show up for work looking like they're ready and prepared, but if a client walked in, the client would be looking at them going, huh, that's kind of funny. One question that I've gotten is, do I have to have a picture? You really do need a picture. I've had a couple experiences culturally. In some areas of the globe, it's not okay for people to put their pictures up for cultural reasons. That's different. But if it's just, oh, I just don't know if I want my picture, you do need to put a picture up. So I would put one up.
Perfect. And I will say that once everyone is back to business and no longer social distancing, we in the Career Center do offer free headshots. So please come visit us. We'll take the perfect picture for you, and you can use that for your LinkedIn profile. Another question we have, where should you list your LinkedIn profile address on your resume?
That's a wonderful question. Right up at the top, right where you have phone, email, LinkedIn. That's where I would put that for you.
And similarly, should you customize your LinkedIn URL? And do you know how to do that?
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Yes, let me go back to sharing my screen again, and I can show you where to do that. So, right go back to your main profile. So you have to click on your own name sometimes. And, oh, I hope it's still in the same place. Now, here's the thing I'm going to tell you. Sometimes those things get put in different locations on LinkedIn, but I think this is where we have it. So profile URL is right here. So it will give you a, where did it go on here? Oops. Oh, no, that's that view. Oh, here it is, right here. So I have customized mine. I think it's easier for people. And it's often shorter. You can make it be something shorter than what you are assigned. If you go into LinkedIn and something isn't where you discard, if something isn't where it was last time, again, they do change things. They do change things. And especially right now, because there's a lot of traffic on it. I actually connected with one of the contacts at LinkedIn, and what they expressed was they are making some changes and trying to tighten security up right now because so many people are active. So if you can't find something, look for it, Google it, or go to LinkedIn itself. LinkedIn has so much help. So don't be afraid to go to any of their sites that they have and find help.
Wonderful. I do see someone is also mentioning that it's also in the upper right corner of your page where it says edit public profile and URL. So that's where you can also find that.
Excellent.
Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right there. Perfect.
There we go.
Let's see. I don't see any other questions coming in. We'll give it a couple more minutes. We are just about at our time cap, so we want to be appropriate for everyone's time joining us today.
Something that I would also say is I know that if you're new to your career, you're thinking, oh my goodness, it's going to take me so long to get these connections, or, does it matter? Like, I don't think about some people I went to high school or junior high with, if you're, an undergrad in college. But it really is a great place to be able to go through the different people you're connected to. And it's very heartwarming when someone that you worked with years ago posts something about a new job, about an opportunity, they write an article, and you see the success that someone else has had. Being able to enjoy that alongside them and offer them something positive. I know we can say that we do that on all kinds of social media, but the professionalism that comes with LinkedIn, it really helps people with purpose. And to have your purpose validated by others is wonderful. So you having that presence allows people to do that for you, and it allows you to do that for other people too.
That's great. I think this is our last question, and then we'll wrap up. All right. So our last question is, should I import my email contacts and connect with them on LinkedIn to quickly expand my network? Is that appropriate?
Yes and no. I would look, just make sure that you know who it is that you're connecting to. And is it somebody that you want to connect to on a professional basis? I can say that with the fact that I also am a professional musician. And there are people that I will call in a heartbeat to play a gig with me, but I don't want them anywhere near my everyday professional contacts. And they would laugh and have laughed when I've told them that. Often they're like, oh, what is that thing anyway, that LinkedIn thing? So just make sure that these are people that you feel that your connection to them is a positive connection.
That is great advice. And I know I said that was our last question, but we did have one more come in. So
all right, let's go.
I think it's actually an important one. So for the education section in LinkedIn, should we only put colleges that you graduated from, or all colleges that you attended? So say if you transferred halfway through your junior year and you graduated from a different school, should you list that other college or no?
This is wonderful, because this is where you have control. So there's a positive to listing extra colleges. So if you've done work at additional places, when you list them as a school, that may open some access to more people you can connect with on LinkedIn. It also does open the possibility that you may connect yourself. Someone may identify with you because you spent a semester where they where they went to school. So it can work in your favor. If it has been something that was progressive and you don't think that those schools are going to help you in any way, then you have the control to decide, nope, I'm going to leave those off.
That's great. That's a great way to also expand your connections. I love that idea. Well, I think that will wrap up our webinar today. I do want to do a quick plug because Ann and I are back at this tomorrow at 4 o'clock for our virtual interviewing webinar. So please, if you have time tomorrow, join us for the last webinar in our Together We Roar Grad Week series. And with that, Ann, again, thank you so much for this lovely webinar, and all your advice has been very helpful. I hope all of our students will take it to heart and get working on those profiles today. So we appreciate your time, and with that, we'll conclude the webinar.
Thank you, Cindy.